Tilbury has actually had a lot of really great launches this year, and it's been a while since I've done a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, so I thought I would do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, kind of focusing on some of the newer and viral products. I've done a lot of full faces of Charlotte Tilbury on my channel, so I thought I'd do an updated look. I'm actually getting ready to go check out an event that Glow Recipe is having, so in my head, I'm envisioning like a true Charlotte Tilbury pinky kind of look, a little bit more glowy. I don't know if that's actually how it's gonna turn out, but I knew I wanted to do the full face of Charlotte Tilbury before going to this event because I just know Charlotte Tilbury is gonna make me look good. So let's get started with skin prep. If you aren't hip to the Charlotte Tilbury skincare, seriously, she has amazing, amazing skincare. So I'm gonna start off with one of my tried and true favorite products, the Magic Cream. This is a great moisturizer and really great for before makeup as well. I'm actually running low on my little pot that I have. So I'm just gonna warm it up in between my fingers and we're gonna put that on the face, and it's gonna leave my skin feeling beautiful and hydrated. So we're gonna give that a little bit of time to sink into the skin. I like this moisturizer because it's great skincare, but it really does prep the skin before makeup very nicely as well. And I'm gonna do the under eyes also because I'm gonna use a concealer that I wouldn't necessarily say is the most hydrating. We'll talk about it when we get there, but I'm just gonna do a little bit of the Magic Eye Rescue, which is also a very beautiful product. You can see I've totally used up most of it. I'm just gonna put, it was supposed to be a little bit. I don't know if it actually ended up being a little bit, probably a little bit more than I wanted. Get the eyelid as well. I wanna be super hydrated and glowy for today's makeup look, so I'm really lathering on this skincare. I'm gonna give my skin a few minutes for this to soak in and I'll be back. So this year, Charlotte Tilbury launched a very viral product, the Beautiful Skin Foundation. And if you watched my videos, you know I'm not the biggest fan of this foundation, but I'm going to incorporate it in today's look and mix it with other products so that I know I am going to enjoy it. So watch how I do it. First things first, since I'm going for a really glowy look, I'm gonna start off with my Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade number 3. This is pretty close to my skin tone, and I'm pretty much gonna use this as an underglow. Because I'm not putting on an actual makeup primer, I use more so just skincare, this is gonna give me some additional glow that I want to peek through throughout the day. So I'm just gonna be like a little obnoxious with this. Put it everywhere. I'm not applying too much product, but I am applying everywhere. Because if I over apply this product, I feel like then I look a little sweaty, which is not the goal. The goal is to look glowy, not sweaty. So I just applied a thin layer, but I'm applying it everywhere, just so that it looks like it's coming from within. I'm using this new Patrick Ta for face number 2 brush. I really have been enjoying this. Why did nobody tell me his face brushes were so dang nice? But look at that. If you just use a little bit of it, you don't like slap it on your face, it leaves actually quite a natural glow that you could get away with wearing without anything on top, or maybe just a little bit of concealer, because I used to slather on too much of this product and I would be like, ooh, this is way too glowy to wear on its own. But if you just get a little thin layer, it's very, very natural and very pretty. Back to the foundation that I told you I didn't like. I do want to use it since it's a new one, but I'm gonna mix it with my favorite Charlotte Tilbury foundation, which is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Now this foundation, I also wouldn't say that I love. I just think Charlotte Tilbury foundations aren't my favorite, but this one is my favorite for events. It's very, very full coverage, and I don't mind wearing it. It's just kind of lacks longevity, but I found that I really like both of these foundations more when I mix them together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start off with the Flawless Finish or Airbrush Flawless Foundation on the top of this cap. And this one is a little bit more matte and full coverage compared to the Beautiful Skin Foundation. The Beautiful Skin Foundation is more glowy, but I find it looks a little thick on my skin and makes my makeup look kind of heavy. But I do find that when I mix both formulas together that you do get a little bit of like the best of both worlds. So we're gonna mix these on the cap, and I don't don't want to apply too much because you're gonna get a lot of coverage from this. So I'm just gonna apply it to the area of my face that needs the most, which is the center of my face. This is where I carry my redness. And then along the chin, because I break out here, so I have some acne scarring. So like pretty much everywhere except for my forehead. And I'm gonna blend this out. Trying to keep the layer of foundation thin. I'm not the best at doing this. I tend to add more and add more and add more, but trying to go for that glowy, pretty natural look today, so I want to keep it kind of light. Will I be successful? We will see. Get a little bit on the forehead, and a little goes a long way. I find that you feel like you don't look like you squirted out much product, but then it spreads out really far on the skin. Like I definitely squirted out way too much. Then I'm gonna use a sponge. This is going to help pick up excess product. Excess, not excess. And it's also going to smooth everything out, make it look like a more skin-like finish. Now I do have some acne spots right here, so I'm going to apply an additional layer on that area, and then as well as my nose. And I see a little bit of redness peeking through here. So that's where the extra product's gonna go. So lightly tap it on top of any scarring, and then I'm spreading the edges out to make it look more seamless. Okay, the skin looks really, really nice right now. I am very, very happy. A bit heavy. That's how I feel about these Charlotte Tilbury foundations, but I feel like it will wear down and be prettier. I do wanna go ahead and move on to eyebrows next, since we got the foundation along the eyebrows. And Charlotte Tilbury does have pretty good eyebrow products. These are fairly new. I don't think they came out this year, but I do enjoy these a lot. So I'm starting off with the brow cheat. I have mine in the shade Natural Brown. So I'm gonna start off by brushing my eyebrow hairs up, and then I like to define the bottom line down here to make it look like I actually wax my brows and take care of them. And I wouldn't say this brow pencil is my all-time favorite. I think you can get just as good eyebrow pencils for a fraction of the price, but this one is not like a bad one. I'm happy to have it, but when I run out, I won't repurchase it just because nothing about it really stands out, but it's solid to have in my collection right now. I'm not mad about grabbing for it, and it's a great color for me. Actually a phenomenal color for me. But I'm filling in the brow, and then as we get in towards the center, sorry, it keeps going fuzzy. As it gets in towards the center, and then as we go in towards the center, I am going upwards with my strokes because that's the natural direction of eyebrows. And then we're going to blend everything. I don't know what it is about doing eyebrows, but my camera always gets fuzzy and out of focus. I think I'm finishing this one. When I go to put it up, it doesn't go up anymore. You saw it here, folks, first. I think I emptied a makeup product. So I know they don't look perfect right now. We will clean them up, but I'm gonna set my eyebrows now with the eyebrow gel that they have. This is the Brow Fix Clear Eyebrow Gel. It's solid, I don't mind it. It's not an all-time favorite, but it's definitely not bad. Kind of same direction of how I feel as the eyebrow pencil. And I'm just going to set my eyebrows with this. It has a very nice hold to it. I do like this product. But it's great that Charlotte Tilbury has these eyebrow products because I love doing the full face makeup deal. And while that sets down, I'm just gonna take on a synthetic brush the leftover foundation, and we're gonna clean up around the brow to make it look more even and clean. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish up the under eye so I don't look quite as scary. I know I'm not doing anything crazy with my eyeshadow, so don't need to do my eyes quite yet, but I'm going to color correct a bit, so I need less concealer. I don't want to over apply the concealer, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the color correctors. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use shade number 2, which is a little bit more peachy. I just love the packaging of this. I think it is so cute, but this is a beautiful color corrector. If you find you have a lot of purple or acne spots, this is a good trick so that you don't need to apply too thick of a concealer. So I'm just putting a thin layer on my under eyes. I'm not the biggest fan of the concealer formulation, so that's why I want to put down the color corrector so I don't need to over apply it. Kind of shady of me, isn't it? So that'll do for now. This is also really good for acne scars as well. And then the concealer, this is what I was talking about, the Beautiful Skin Concealer. Now this is not a bad concealer. Charlotte Tilbury has a different concealer that is 30 billion times worse. This one, it's average, but it's not my favorite. But I'm happy she has this concealer, so when I do a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, I can use this concealer and not the other one. The shade is also a little bright on me, so that's another reason why I wanted to use the color corrector, because blue can peek through shades that are a little too light. So I'm just gonna do that, and I'm also gonna apply a little bit on the chin. Try it out. And I'm gonna use my beauty blender, and we're just gonna blend this out. And I know I was like, I don't like this concealer, I don't like this concealer. I don't mind this concealer. I don't like the foundation version of it a lot more. Like the concealer, to me, is better than the Beautiful Skin Foundation. And it's solid. Not an all-time fave, but most definitely solid. Make sure you get in this area as well in the inner corner because so much blue is gonna peek through. And before I put any powder on my skin, this year Charlotte Tilbury did launch some cream bronzers, so I definitely wanted to use these in today's video. I think I'm gonna start off with the shade number 1 Fair. Yeah, I think this is a shade that I'm gonna go ahead and use. I like this though because it almost dries into a powder. I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 109 brush. Been loving this for applying cream bronzers, and I'm just gonna press it underneath the cheekbone so you can see what a difference that makes. And this shade is a little bit more cooler than the medium shade, so I feel like it's just gonna look a little bit more natural. And I don't know, maybe I'll mix in a little bit of the medium, we'll see. But I'm just gonna work this out, make sure it looks really well blended and natural. Go underneath the chin as well, and again get this out here. Let's go ahead and apply some as nose contour. So I'm gonna get on my ring finger, put it in between both, go straight down. I'm gonna take the top side of the brush, we're gonna push it in to keep it more natural looking. If you don't want your nose to look too dirty, take a little bit of a lighter concealer. The Beautiful Skin shade that I have is perfect for this. And I'm going to blend this down the center of the nose. Do you see what a difference that makes? So I'm just using my finger. I'm gonna get my beauty blender, press everything in. Quite natural. Now I keep hemming and hawing. I do think I'm gonna go into number 2 medium, which is just a little bit darker, and I'm gonna darken in some places that I feel like could be more dramatic. Like right out here, we could use some more, and I'm just using a little bit. And right out here, and then the jawline. But that's it, I think we're good after that. Let's set with some powder. I'm going to use the Magic powder for under eye and face. It's the loose setting powder. Not an all-time favorite setting powder of mine, but this is my favorite Charlotte Tilbury powder to use to set the under eyes. Gonna get some into the cap using my beauty blender and just press it on underneath just like that. So this is just gonna be used to set the under eyes. And with whatever is left in the cap, I'm gonna take it to the center of my forehead. The nose could always use a little bit of a thicker layer of powder as well. Lately, I've been using the Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish Powder a lot to brighten in the center of my face, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this. This one is still up for testing for speed reviews, though I do have my final thoughts on it, I think, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit. I don't want to overset since I already have powder on underneath the eyes, but do you see how that added just a subtle bit brightness? Just a little bit. Then I'm going to add some brightness underneath the contour as well. I do like this for a little bit of extra color. That's all I'm gonna do as far as setting powders, but I do want to go in with a little bit of powder bronzer. I'm gonna use the Airbrush bronzer in the shade number 1 Fair, and I'm gonna use that to set our bronzer today. Going to use the BK Beauty 103, and I'm not even really using this for color, just putting it right on top, a little bit, just a hint. And that's it. Okay, I'm gonna game plan the eye look, pull the palettes I want to use, and I'll be back. For the eye look today, I wanted to keep it pretty light. I didn't really want the focus to be on the eyes. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this foundation that I have sitting here and I'm gonna even out the eyelid. I don't recommend this really for long wear or if you have oily eyelids, but I don't really struggle too much with creasing, so this works for me. For eyeshadows, since it is very minimal, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Super Nudes Easy Eye Palette. This is really, really basic, but it's very useful. So I'm gonna take my Rephr #1 brush. We're gonna go into the skin tone shade. And this, if you ask me, is the most beautiful shade for just setting the whole eyelid. I feel like this palette in particular has such a smooth formula and it almost blurs out the eyelid, right? I'm gonna go ahead and continue to use this brush and we're going into this shade right here and I'm almost gonna wing it out and then again blend it out. Don't forget to get the lower lash line as well. I definitely want to get the brown on the lower lash line because when you put eyeshadow underneath, that helps the concealer not look creasy. So you see how this just added a very natural crease. I think that's very pretty and simple. And then I do want to deepen it up just a little bit, just like that. And that is really it for the eyeshadow. I'm taking the dark brown though with whatever little product I have on my brush left over along the whole lower lash line. That's going to kind of be as dramatic as it gets, but this palette is just so beautiful. And then for the eyelid, this year Charlotte Tilbury launched a few new Eyes to Mesmerize shades. I'm going in with Exaggerize today, which is just really almost a skin tone color, and it makes the lid look glossy. I think it's so pretty, so we're gonna go ahead and use this. So I'm just gonna press this on the eyelid. Now this formula is a little creasy. It's not my all-time favorite cream eyeshadow formula, but I do think the finish of the lid is very pretty. But see how simple of an eye look that is? I'm actually gonna take whatever is left on my sponge, clean up under here, but that's all I'm gonna do for eyeshadow. So before I do eyeliner and whatnot, I do want to do my blush and highlight. And I pulled, you know, my Charlotte Tilbury ones, but then I was like, no, this holiday season, they launched the Pillow Talk Beautifying Face Palette. So I am most definitely using these. I'm just deciding which one I want. Do I wanna go more pinky? I think so, yes. We're gonna do the light medium one because Glow Recipe is pink, which is the event that I'm going to. So this is the Beautifying Face Palette in the shade Fair Medium. And we're gonna use the cheekers today for this. So I want this to make my face look a little bit more fresh and youthful. So I think to do that, I'm gonna use a brush that is not too dense. You can see it's sparse. It's a little on the sparse side, not crazy. I'm gonna start off with this shade right here, which is a little bit more neutral. And I'm going to apply this to the apples of the cheeks. And I feel like it does pool more pink anyways, but for that youthful, fresh look, apples of the cheek is the way to go. And then I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit further because we definitely need some color on the face since my eyes are so neutral. And then I like this shade. I feel like it's not too crazy, so I'm gonna put it along the nose. Again, going with that neutral kind of look. And then I'm gonna take a pop of this shade, like barely any, tapping off my brush, and right on the apple, hit it. Smack yourself in the face. Push and blend, push and blend. No, don't be afraid to go a little bit obnoxious with the blush because normally blush fades a little bit. This looks so cute. See, I did go a little obnoxious with it and now I'm nervous. I think it's okay though. Just blend it out. And then I do want a little bit of a glow. So I'm gonna get into this shade right here, which is kind of more of a highlight, but I'm just gonna kind of brush it in between where the blush and the highlight would go. And that gives a little bit of a glow. And then finally, I'm gonna take the highlight from here. And this is just a beautiful highlight. Perfect for the glow that I'm going for. And this is a Sigma Skin Perfector brush. I think it's so beautiful for getting like a natural highlight down. And I want to get a smaller brush. I'm just going to use this random blending brush that I have from Rephr. And I want to apply this glow around other parts of my face for a more cohesive look. That's pretty. We like that. And just a little tip. Because the eyes are a little bit more brown compared to the cheeks, I'm gonna take this color right here and I'm just gonna make the eye look a little bit more pink by putting this in the crease. Pretty subtle. I'm actually gonna go into the darker pink, but just blending this in is gonna give us more cohesion. Just a little bit and that's perfect. And then before I get into eyeliner, I am going to set my face because I find that sometimes when I set my face with eyeliner on, it gets a little smudgy. But this is one of my all-time favorite setting sprays. It's perfect for long wear since I'm going to be wearing this for a few hours. And I feel like this makes my makeup look even better and more blurred. So this is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Totally recommend this. This is one of my holy grails from the brand. And it smells so good. Gotta let that dry. Now for eyeliner, I've been really into pencil eyeliner lately. I'm gonna use this double-sided eyeliner. They call it the Hollywood Exaggerized Liner Duo. So there's a black side and a metallic white side. I'm gonna show you how I create a wing. At first I wanted to do a brown so it's not so dramatic. And I told you I was going for a natural look, but it never turns out that way. So we're gonna start off with the black side. And I'm just gonna create a mini wing. And I like pencil liners lately over liquid liners because it's less intense. It's not quite so defined. It almost creates more of a smudged kind of look. Sometimes if these haven't been sharpened in a while, that outer layer can be a little bit harder. Hopefully this... That was nice and sharp before I freaking dropped it. I'm gonna sharpen it again. Let's try her now. Much better. Okay, so start off in the outer half of the eye. Doesn't need to be perfect, and I'll show you why. And we're gonna tightline, especially in the inner part of the eye for this. Take a angled brush. You really just want to get the color down, and then you're gonna do all of the work with the brush. So I'm not gonna lie, this isn't the softest pencil, but it lasts a good time, so I put up with it. Just like that. And then I'm going to smudge this in between the lashes. We're just smudging this in between the lashes as we get closer. And then take the brush, and this will smooth it out. And you can literally, if you want more of a smudge look, just take your finger like that. You see what that does? How that made it look really soft and smudged and natural. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the other eye off camera because I'm gonna be here for years. I'm taking the metallic white side and I just want to open up my eyes. So that's going in my tight line. Then I'm taking whatever is left over on my brush, my angled brush, and I'm gonna create a little baby wing like that. It needs a little bit more eyeliner on there actually. I'm gonna actually just go directly on the pencil itself. Literally just create a soft wing, just like that. Doesn't that completely reshape the eye? Okay, I'm gonna do this on the other eye off camera. I'm gonna pop on some mascara. I don't have a Charlotte Tilbury mascara currently open, so I'm gonna use my Patrick Ta mascara and some falsies, and we'll finish off with the lips together. For lashes, I just went ahead and popped some individual lashes on the outside. I haven't done individuals since I did bridal makeup, and I wanted to see if I still had it. Honestly, I don't think I do, but I just wanted to thicken the look of the eyelashes, not really lengthen or anything. For lips, I'm just gonna go with something pink. I'm gonna start off with the lip cheat in the shade Pillow Talk 2 Medium. This is one of my favorite lip liners of all time, formula-wise and color-wise. So I'm gonna slightly overline right in the center here, and then follow my natural lip line as we get towards the corners. Same deal. Follow your natural lip line, and then over. So that'll do. I'm just doing the outsides. Gonna take my finger, kind of soften. Then for lipstick, I chose Angel Alessandra. If you're new to my channel, Charlotte Tilbury has my all-time favorite lipstick formula. This one I think is going to complement the eyes and the cheeks. And then I pulled the Collagen Lip Bath Lip Gloss in the shade Pillow Talk. And then boom, I mean, here is the look. Give me a minute, let me pull my hair down, and we will head out of here. Alright guys, so here is the final look. I would say I totally got the Charlotte Tilbury aesthetic down. I used a lot of the newer products that came out this year to achieve this look, and I think it's just beautiful. This is why I love doing full faces of Charlotte Tilbury. Every time I do, I really do love the way that my makeup ends up turning out. It looks glowy, it looks fresh. It's a little bit more dramatic than I initially intended on, but I am still very happy with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, hanging out with me, doing a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. I will have the links down below to shop everything. I actually do have a discount code, which I'll put here and link in the description box as well. If it's your first time purchasing, you do save 15%. It's hard to get a discount on Charlotte Tilbury from her direct websites. Or if you make a new account with that email, you also get a discount. So just try it out. You never know if it's gonna work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.